If you're still awake right now, this isn't an accident. Something brought you here, right at this moment, because tonight, God does not want you to carry this weight any longer. You've been trying to hold everything together. The pressure, the uncertainty, the thoughts that won't slow down. But what if, while you sleep tonight, God is already rearranging everything in your favor? Don't miss this moment. What you're about to hear can calm your mind, settle your heart, and carry you into deep, peaceful rest. This video is intentionally long, so you can close your eyes and let the Word of God stay with you as you fall asleep. Before you rest, take a second to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. Join the membership if you want to grow deeper in faith. And in the comments, write your prayer, whatever is on your heart. Share this with someone who needs peace tonight. Now breathe slowly and listen. Now, as you begin to settle into this quiet moment, let your breathing slow down just a little. There is no rush here, no pressure, no expectation for you to figure everything out tonight. The day is over, and whatever was unfinished can wait. Right now, your only purpose is to rest in the presence of God, who is already working on the things that have been weighing on your heart. The Bible says in Psalm 4 verse 8, "I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety." Let that sink into your spirit. You are safe, not because everything around you is perfect, but because God Himself is watching over you. Every concern you carried into this night, every silent worry that followed you into the darkness, none of it has escaped His attention. He sees what you didn't say out loud. He understands what you couldn't explain. And even now, He is gently moving in ways you cannot yet see. You might feel like things are stuck, like nothing is changing, but God does some of His greatest work in silence, in stillness, in moments just like this where all you can do is surrender. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. That is not just a comforting thought. It is a promise. It means you are not required to solve everything before you sleep. You are not responsible for holding the future together tonight. God is already ahead of you, arranging details, softening hearts, opening doors, and closing the ones that would have harmed you. Even the things that seem delayed are not forgotten. Even the prayers that feel unanswered are not ignored. They are being handled with a wisdom far greater than your own. So allow your body to relax a little more. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Release the tension you didn't even realize you were holding. As you do, remember what is written in 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. Not some of your cares, not just the easy ones, but all of them. The heavy ones, the confusing ones, the ones that keep returning no matter how many times you try to push them away. You don't have to carry them into your sleep. You can hand them over one by one and trust that God is more than capable of handling what you cannot. Imagine placing each worry into His hands right now. There is no resistance from Him, no hesitation, only a quiet assurance that He has you. And as your thoughts begin to slow, you may notice a gentle shift inside you. The anxiety that once felt loud begins to soften. The urgency starts to fade. This is what happens when you stop striving and start trusting. Proverbs 3 verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." You don't have to understand everything for God to be working. You don't need all the answers for things to begin falling into place. Your role in this moment is not to figure it out, but to rest in the one who already has. Think about that. While you are lying here, eyes growing heavier, breathing becoming deeper, God is not idle. He is active. He is intentional. He is precise. There are things shifting right now that you will only understand later. Situations aligning in ways you could not have planned. Protection happening that you may never even be aware of. And all of this is taking place while you simply rest. That is the beauty of God's care. It does not depend on your effort. It flows from His love. Jesus said in John 14 verse 27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you." The peace He gives is different. It does not rely on everything going right. It does not disappear when circumstances are uncertain. It remains steady, quiet, and deep, even in the middle of unanswered questions. Let that peace settle over you now. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to force it. Just allow it to rest on you like a gentle covering. If your mind tries to wander again, bring it back softly, not with frustration, but with patience. Remind yourself that you are held, that you are seen, that you are not alone in this night. God is closer than you think. He is present in this very moment, not distant, not distracted, but fully aware of you. And as sleep begins to come, as your thoughts become quieter and your body more at ease, hold on to this truth. You are not falling behind, you are not missing out, and you are not forgotten. God is already moving ahead of you, preparing what you cannot yet see. And tonight you are allowed to rest in that. As you continue to rest in this quiet moment, notice how your body is beginning to feel heavier, calmer, more at ease than before. That is not by accident. That is what happens when you slowly release control and allow God to take His rightful place over the things that were never yours to carry alone. You were never meant to live in constant tension, constantly trying to predict, fix, and manage every outcome. There is a gentler way, and you are stepping into it right now. The Word of God says in Psalm 46 verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God." Not strive harder, not think more, not worry deeper, just be still. There is something powerful about stillness, because in stillness, you begin to realize that God has been in control the entire time. Even when your thoughts were racing earlier, even when your heart felt overwhelmed, even when things seemed uncertain, none of that removed Him from His throne. He has remained constant, steady, unshaken. And now, in this moment, you are being invited to rest in that truth. You don't have to hold everything together tonight. You don't have to solve tomorrow before it arrives. You don't have to replay every conversation or predict every possibility. God is already present in your tomorrow, and He is just as faithful there as He is right now. Isaiah 26 verse 3 says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." So gently bring your thoughts back, not to your problems, but to Him. Let your mind rest on His faithfulness, on His promises, on His unchanging nature. Think about how many times things worked out in ways you didn't expect before. Times when you thought it was over, but somehow a way appeared. That was not luck. That was God. And the same God who carried you through those moments is still with you now, still working, still making a way even when you cannot see it yet. As your breathing becomes slower and deeper, imagine every anxious thought loosening its grip. You don't have to fight your thoughts aggressively. Just let them pass like clouds, and return your focus to the quiet assurance that God is near. Psalm 121 verse 3 reminds you, "He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber." That means while you sleep, God remains awake. While your body rests, His watch continues. There is never a moment where you are unprotected, never a second where you are overlooked. Even in the deepest part of the night, when everything feels still and silent, God is actively sustaining you. That alone is reason enough to let go of fear. You are not vulnerable in your rest, you are covered. And maybe part of you still feels like you should be doing more, thinking more, trying harder. But listen carefully, rest is not weakness. Rest is trust. Rest is an act of faith that says, "God, I believe you are working even when I am not." And that kind of faith moves things in ways that striving never could. Exodus 33 verse 14 says, "My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest." Not temporary relief, not shallow calm, but true rest, the kind that reaches deep into your soul and quiets what has been restless for so long. Let that promise wrap around you now. You are not alone in this moment. You are not facing life by yourself. God's presence is with you, surrounding you, holding you steady even as you begin to drift closer to sleep. And as your eyes grow heavier, remember this. Some of the answers you are looking for will not come through overthinking. They will come through resting, through trusting, through allowing God the space to move without your interference. There are things being aligned right now that you could not have arranged on your own. Conversations that will happen at the right time. Opportunities that will open when you least expect. Clarity that will come when your mind is no longer clouded by fear. This is how God works. Quietly, faithfully, perfectly, so you can release the pressure. You can let go of the need to understand everything tonight. You can allow yourself to drift, knowing that you are not falling behind. You are being carried forward in ways you cannot yet see. And if you are still listening to this moment, still allowing these words to settle into your heart, gently type 1 in the comments, just as a quiet sign that you are still here, still resting, still trusting. And now, Keep breathing slowly. Keep letting go. Because God is not finished. He is just getting started. Let yourself sink a little deeper into this stillness now, as if every word is gently guiding you further away from the noise of the day and closer to a place of complete rest. You don't need to rush this. There is no expectation for you to fall asleep immediately. Even this moment of quiet listening is already healing something within you. Sometimes the soul just needs to be reminded that it is safe to slow down, safe to release, safe to trust again. And right now, that is exactly what is happening. God is calming the places inside you that have been unsettled for far too long. The Bible says in Psalm 23 verses 2-3, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Notice that He restores your soul. Not you striving harder, not you fixing everything, but Him gently leading you into rest and doing the restoring Himself. Imagine that for a moment, being led beside still waters, where everything is quiet, peaceful, undisturbed. No pressure, no urgency, just calm. That is where God is bringing you right now. You may still feel traces of worry trying to linger, thoughts attempting to pull you back into overthinking, but you don't have to follow them. Let them pass. You are not obligated to entertain every thought that comes into your mind. Instead, let your focus return to the steady truth that God is with you, and He is in control. Even now, He is arranging things in ways you could never fully understand. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 says, He hath made everything beautiful in His time. That includes the situation you're worried about. That includes the things that feel delayed or uncertain. Just because you cannot see the outcome yet does not mean it isn't already being prepared. God's timing is not random. It is precise. It is intentional. And it is always working for your good, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. So instead of trying to force clarity tonight, allow yourself to rest in the mystery of His plan. There is peace in not knowing everything because it means God is still writing the story. And His endings are always better than anything you could have imagined on your own. As your body continues to relax, feel the weight of your concerns lifting, little by little. You don't have to carry them into your sleep. You don't have to solve them before morning. Psalm 55 verse 22 says, Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and He shall sustain thee. That means He will hold you up. He will carry what you cannot. He will sustain you even when you feel weak. So go ahead, release it again. Even if you already tried earlier, release it one more time. Trust is not always a one-time decision. Sometimes it is something you choose again and again, especially in quiet moments like this. And every time you choose to let go, even just a little, you make space for God's peace to fill that place. You may begin to notice your breathing becoming softer, your thoughts becoming slower, your body feeling heavier against where you are resting. That is a good thing. That is your body responding to peace. That is your spirit recognizing that it no longer has to stay on high alert. because you are not alone. You have never been alone. Even in your hardest moments, even in your most uncertain seasons, God has been there, guiding, protecting, sustaining you in ways you may not have even noticed at the time. And He has not stopped now. If anything, He is even closer in moments like this, when everything else fades and it is just you and Him. Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23 reminds you, "It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because His compassions fail not. They are new every morning." That means tomorrow is already covered. Grace is already waiting for you. Strength is already prepared for you. You don't need to carry tomorrow into tonight, because when tomorrow comes, God's mercy will meet you there. Right now, your only assignment is to rest, to trust, to let go. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to settle into this peace, gently type 2 in the comments, just as a quiet way of saying, "I'm still here, I'm still trusting, I'm still letting go." And now, continue to breathe slowly. Let every word fade softly into the background, and allow yourself to drift even deeper, knowing that while you sleep, God is still working, still restoring, still making a way. As you remain in this gentle stillness, notice how everything within you is beginning to quiet down. Not all at once, but slowly, naturally, like waves settling after a storm. You don't have to force peace to come. You don't have to chase it or earn it, because the peace of God is not something you achieve, it is something you receive. And right now, in this very moment, you are allowing yourself to receive it. The weight you felt earlier, the tension you carried in your thoughts, it is beginning to loosen its hold on you, and you can let it go even more. You are safe to rest. You are safe to release. You are safe to trust that God is already working on everything that concerns you. The Bible says in Matthew 11 verse 28, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." That invitation is not for another day. It is for right now. You don't have to wait until everything is fixed before you come to Him. You don't have to clean up your thoughts or organize your worries before you rest. You can come exactly as you are, tired, overwhelmed, unsure, and He will meet you with rest. Not partial rest, not temporary relief, but deep, soul-level rest that reaches the places inside you that nothing else can touch. So as you lie there, allow yourself to lean into that promise. You don't have to carry what you were never meant to carry. You don't have to solve what God has already taken responsibility for. Even now, as your body grows heavier and your breathing becomes slower, God is actively working behind the scenes of your life. Things are shifting that you cannot yet see. Situations are being rearranged in ways you could not have predicted. And the beautiful part is, none of it depends on your effort right now. It depends on His faithfulness. Psalm 37 verse 5 says, "Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass." That means what you have been worrying about, what you have been trying to figure out, what has been weighing on your heart, once you place it into His hands, He takes responsibility for bringing it to completion. You don't have to stay awake trying to make it happen. You don't have to replay every scenario in your mind. You can rest, knowing that God is not delayed, He is not distracted, and He is not unaware. He is already moving with precision and care. And maybe part of you is still holding on, just a little, still trying to control how things will turn out, still wondering what if things don't work out the way you hope. But listen gently, God's plan for you is not fragile. It does not depend on everything going perfectly according to your understanding. It is anchored in His wisdom, His timing, and His love for you. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds you, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace, and not of evil, to give you an expected end." That means there is already a future prepared for you that includes peace, not harm, hope, not despair. Even if you cannot see the path clearly right now, it is already known to Him. So you can release the need to figure it all out tonight. Let your thoughts slow down even more. Let your body sink deeper into rest. Let your breathing guide you into a calmer place. Inhale slowly and exhale gently. And as you do, imagine every remaining worry leaving your body, drifting away, no longer needing your attention. You are not abandoning your responsibilities. You are placing them into the hands of a God who is far more capable than you. And as you do this, something begins to shift inside you. A deeper sense of calm, a quiet assurance that you are not alone in this journey, that everything will unfold in the right time, in the right way. Proverbs 16 verse 3 says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." Notice that when you commit everything to Him, even your thoughts begin to settle. That is what you are experiencing right now. Your thoughts are becoming quieter, steadier, less overwhelming. And that is a sign that you are beginning to trust, even if just a little more than before. You don't need perfect faith in this moment. You just need willingness, a small decision to let go, to rest, to trust that God is already handling what concerns you. And as sleep begins to draw closer, as your mind drifts further away from the noise of the day, hold on to this truth. You are being taken care of. Even now, even here, even in this quiet moment. God is working, God is restoring, God is making a way where you cannot yet see one. And if you are still listening, still here in this peaceful space, gently type 3 in the comments, just as a quiet way of saying, "I'm still trusting, I'm still resting, I'm still here." And now, allow yourself to drift even deeper, because you don't have to stay awake to make things better. God is already doing that for you. Now, as the quiet deepens and your body continues to soften into rest, allow yourself to let go just a little more. You've already come this far, you've already released so much, and you don't need to pick any of it back up again. This moment is not about effort, it is about surrender. It is about trusting that even in stillness, even in silence, God is actively working in ways far beyond what your eyes can see or your mind can understand. The Bible gently reminds you in Psalm 121 verse 4, "Behold, He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. That means while your eyes grow heavy and your thoughts begin to fade, God remains fully awake, fully aware, fully in control. There is not a single detail of your life that escapes His attention. Not the smallest concern, not the quietest fear, not the question you haven't even found words for yet. He sees it all, and more importantly, He cares deeply about it all. So you can rest without fear. You can release the need to stay alert, to stay in control, to stay mentally active trying to guard every possible outcome. You are not the one holding everything together. God is, and He does it perfectly, without strain, without confusion, without missing anything that matters. Let that truth settle into you. Let it replace the tension with peace, the uncertainty with trust. You may notice now that your thoughts are not as loud as they were before. They may still come and go, but they no longer have the same weight, the same urgency. That is what happens when you begin to shift from striving into surrender. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee, be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee." That promise is not distant, it is present. Right here, right now, in this quiet moment, God is with you. You are not facing life alone. You are not navigating uncertainty by yourself. You are being guided, strengthened, and supported in ways that go beyond what you can physically see. And even if you don't feel strong right now, even if you feel tired or uncertain or emotionally drained, that does not disqualify you from His care. In fact, it draws you closer to it, because God does not require you to be strong before He helps you. He meets you in your weakness and becomes your strength. So let yourself be held in that truth. Let yourself stop trying to be strong for just this moment. You don't have to prove anything tonight. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to prepare for every possibility. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to trust that God is already ahead of you, already preparing what you need, already aligning what seems out of place. Proverbs 3 verse 6 says, "In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths." Even the paths you cannot see yet, even the steps you haven't taken, even the decisions you are unsure about, God is already directing them. That means you are not walking into the unknown alone. You are being led. And as you begin to feel more at ease, more settled, more ready to drift into sleep, remember this: you don't need to rush tomorrow. You don't need to carry it into tonight. Tomorrow will come with its own grace, its own strength, its own clarity. Right now, your focus is here, in this peaceful moment, where God is gently inviting you to rest. Psalm 127 verse 2 says, "For so He giveth His beloved sleep." Sleep is not something you have to fight for. It is something God gives. It is a gift, a covering, a restoration for your body, your mind, and your spirit. So don't resist it. Don't overthink it. Just allow it to come naturally as you continue to breathe slowly, as your body continues to relax, as your thoughts continue to quiet. And if your mind tries to wander again, bring it back softly, not with frustration, but with gentleness. Remind yourself, God is in control. God is working. God is near. You are safe. You are held. You are not alone. And everything that concerns you is already in His hands. As your eyes grow heavier now, and sleep begins to gently take over, carry this final thought with you into rest. You are not falling behind, you are being positioned. You are not forgotten, you are being prepared. You are not alone, you are being guided every step of the way. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to sink into this peace, gently type 4 in the comments, just as a quiet sign that you are still present, still trusting, still resting. And now, let go even more, drift deeper, and allow God to continue what He has already begun in your life. As you continue to drift deeper into this quiet and peaceful space, there is no need to hold on to anything from the day that has already passed. Whatever felt heavy, whatever felt unresolved, whatever seemed too much for you to carry, it does not need to follow you into your rest. You are allowed to set it down completely, not temporarily, but fully, trusting that God is more than capable of handling what you cannot. Right now, your mind may feel slower, softer, less crowded, and that is a sign that your soul is beginning to settle into the peace that has always been available to you. The Bible says in Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Notice how it says the peace of God goes beyond understanding. That means you don't have to figure everything out to feel at peace. You don't need all the answers to rest. You don't need clarity about tomorrow to experience calm tonight. God's peace does not depend on your circumstances making sense. It flows from His presence, and His presence is with you right now. So even if there are still unanswered questions, even if there are still things you wish you could resolve, you can still rest. You can still experience peace. Because peace is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of God. Let that truth settle into you as your breathing continues to slow. Inhale gently and exhale softly, and with every breath, allow yourself to go deeper into rest. You don't need to rush this process. Sleep is not something you force. It is something you fall into when your body and mind feel safe enough to let go. And right now, you are creating that safety by reminding yourself that God is in control. Psalm 34 verses 17 to 18 says, "The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart." That means if your heart has been heavy, if something has been quietly hurting inside you, God is not distant from that pain. He is near to it. He is near to you. He hears what you haven't said out loud. He understands what you couldn't explain. And He is already moving to bring comfort, healing, and restoration in ways you may not yet fully recognize. You are not alone in what you are feeling. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. God is closer than you think, especially in moments like this, when everything else becomes quiet and it is just you and Him. And as your thoughts begin to fade even more, as your body becomes heavier and more relaxed, remember that you do not need to carry your fears into your sleep. Fear loses its power when you place it in God's hands. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 reminds you, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." That means the fear you felt earlier does not define you, it does not control you, and it does not belong to you. You can release it, you can let it go, and in its place, receive the calm, steady assurance that God is with you and for you. Even now, things are shifting in your favor in ways you cannot see. Situations are being aligned. Paths are being prepared. Answers are forming. And all of it is happening while you rest. That is the kind of God you serve. He does not require your constant effort to move in your life. He asks for your trust. And tonight, you are choosing to trust, even if just a little more than before. And that is enough. As your eyes grow heavier now, and your thoughts become softer, allow this final truth to settle into your heart. You are being taken care of. Every detail, every concern, every unknown, it is all in God's hands. And His hands are steady. His plans are good. His timing is perfect. You can sleep without fear. You can rest without worry. You can let go completely. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to be carried into this peace, gently type 5 in the comments, just as a quiet way of saying, "I'm still here, I'm still trusting, I'm still resting in God's presence." And now drift deeper, let go fully, and allow His peace to carry you into restful, uninterrupted sleep. As the night continues to deepen around you, let yourself sink even further into this gentle rhythm of rest, where nothing is required of you and everything is already being taken care of. You are not here by accident, and this moment of stillness is not empty. It is filled with the quiet work of God moving in your life in ways you cannot yet see. Sometimes the greatest transformations happen when everything appears still on the surface. Just like the earth resting in the night before a new morning begins, your life is being prepared, renewed, and aligned even now. You may not feel it fully, you may not understand it yet, but that does not mean it isn't happening. The Bible says in Romans 8 verse 28, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God." All things, not just the easy moments, not just the clear answers, but even the confusion, even the waiting, even the silence. God is able to take every piece and weave it together into something good. So you don't have to analyze every detail tonight. You don't have to make sense of everything before you rest. You can trust that even the parts you don't understand are already being worked out for your good. Let that thought settle gently into your mind as your body becomes heavier, more relaxed, more ready to drift into sleep. You might feel your breathing becoming slower now, your chest rising and falling in a steady, calming rhythm. Stay with that rhythm. Let it guide you deeper into peace. Psalm 139 verse 5 says, "Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me." That means God surrounds you completely, behind you, before you, around you, and even within the very breath you are taking right now. There is nowhere you can go where He is not present. Even in the quiet darkness of this night, He is here, gently watching over you, holding you in His care. And because of that, you can let go of fear. You can release the need to stay alert or guarded. You are not exposed. You are not vulnerable. You are covered. You are held. You are safe in His presence. If any lingering thoughts try to pull you back into worry, don't fight them harshly. Just acknowledge them, and then gently return your focus to this truth. God is in control. God is working. God is near. Isaiah 55 verse 8 reminds you, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord." That means you don't have to understand the process to trust the outcome. God sees what you cannot see. He understands what you cannot understand. And He is guiding your life with a wisdom far greater than your own. So you can release the pressure to figure everything out. You can allow yourself to rest in the unknown, knowing that it is fully known to Him. As your thoughts become softer, more distant, like echoes fading away, let your heart hold onto this simple truth: you are being taken care of. Even now, as you lie here, there are things being aligned for you. There are answers forming, paths opening, protection surrounding you in ways you may never fully realize. And none of it requires your effort in this moment. It only requires your trust. Psalm 91 verse 1 says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." That shadow is over you now, covering you, protecting you, giving you a place of rest. You are not outside of God's care. You are right in the middle of it. So let your body relax even more. Let your mind drift even further. Let your spirit settle into this quiet assurance that everything is being handled. You don't need to stay awake to protect your future. God is already there. You don't need to hold on to your worries to make sure they get solved. God is already working on them. You can rest. You can let go. You can trust. And as sleep gently begins to take over, as your awareness softens and your thoughts become lighter, carry this with you. Nothing in your life is random. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is outside of God's control. He is weaving everything together, even now, into something good, something meaningful, something that will make sense in time. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this peace, gently type 6 in the comments, just as a quiet way of saying, "I'm still here, I'm still trusting, I'm still resting in God's hands." And now, drift deeper. Let the words fade, and allow His presence to carry you into a peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. As the quiet of this moment continues to settle over you, You may begin to notice that everything feels softer now, as if the weight you carried earlier has slowly faded into the background. This is what happens when you stop holding everything so tightly and begin to trust that God is already holding it for you. You were never meant to carry the full weight of your life on your own shoulders. You were never meant to solve every problem in your own strength. And tonight, you are stepping out of that pressure and into a place of rest where God is gently taking over what you have been trying to manage alone. The Bible says in Psalm 55 verse 22, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee." That word sustain means he will support you, uphold you, carry you when you feel like you cannot carry yourself. So whatever is still lingering in your thoughts right now, whatever small tension remains in your chest, you can release it again. You don't have to hold on to it just in case something goes wrong. God does not need your worry to make things work. He only asks for your trust. And even if your trust feels small, even if it feels fragile, it is enough. Because God's faithfulness does not depend on how strong you feel. It depends on who He is. And He is unchanging. He is steady. He is always working even when everything feels still. As your breathing becomes slower and deeper, allow your body to sink even more into rest. Feel the surface beneath you supporting you, holding you without effort. In the same way, God is holding your life right now without strain, without confusion, without missing any detail. Nothing about your situation is too complicated for Him. Nothing is too far gone. Nothing is beyond His ability to restore, to fix, to redeem. Ephesians 3 verse 20 says, "Now unto Him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think." That means even the solutions you have imagined, even the outcomes you have hoped for, God is able to go beyond them. He is not limited by your expectations. He is not restricted by what seems possible to you. He is already working on things greater than you can see right now, so you can release the need to control how everything turns out. You can let go of the pressure to figure out every step, because God is already ahead of you, preparing the way. And as your thoughts begin to drift more slowly, like leaves floating on calm water, remind yourself gently, you are not alone in this moment. You are not forgotten in this season. You are not behind in your life. Everything is unfolding in a way that is being guided by God's perfect timing. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." That includes this moment of waiting, this moment of uncertainty, this moment of quiet. It all has a purpose. It all has a place in the story God is writing for your life. Even when it doesn't make sense, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you wish things were different, God is still working through it. Nothing is wasted. Not your struggles, not your questions, not even your delays. It is all being woven together into something meaningful. And right now, your role is not to understand it all, but to rest in the one who does. Let your eyelids grow heavier. Let your thoughts become softer. Let your breathing guide you deeper into a place of calm. If your mind tries to wander back to worries again, Gently bring it back to this truth. God is in control. God is working. God is near. You are safe to rest. Isaiah 26 verse 12 says, Lord, thou wilt ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all our works in us. Peace is not something you create, it is something God establishes within you. And that is what He is doing right now. He is placing peace inside you, quietly, gently, without force. You don't have to strive for it. You only have to receive it. And as sleep begins to come closer, as your awareness slowly fades and your body becomes fully relaxed, carry this with you. You are being guided, even when you cannot see the path. You are being protected, even when you are unaware. You are being prepared for things that will make sense in time. And you don't have to stay awake to make it happen. God is already doing it. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this moment, gently type 7 in the comments, just as a quiet way of saying, I'm still here, I'm still trusting, I'm still resting in God's hands. And now, let go even more, drift deeper into the quiet, and allow His peace to carry you fully into rest. As the night continues to deepen and everything around you grows quieter, there is a gentle truth settling over your heart right now. You don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to keep trying to hold everything together. The same God who has carried you through every moment up until now is still present, still aware, still working, even in this silence. And maybe tonight, more than anything else, what He is inviting you into is not effort, not understanding, not even answers, but rest. Real rest. The kind of rest that doesn't come from everything being perfect, but from knowing that you are held by someone who is perfect. Because God doesn't need noise to prove His presence. He moves in stillness, in quiet, in the spaces where your thoughts begin to slow down and your breathing becomes soft. And right now, He is closer than you realize, gently reminding you that you are safe to let go. You may still feel traces of today lingering in your mind. Conversations, worries, unfinished things, questions about tomorrow. But you don't have to solve any of that tonight. This moment is not for figuring things out. This moment is for releasing them. Just like it says in Proverbs 3 verse 24, When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. That promise is not based on your circumstances being perfect. It is based on God being present. And He is, right here, right now, watching over you with a quiet kind of care that never fades, never weakens, never leaves. So if your mind tries to pull you back into worry, gently remind yourself, I don't need to carry this tonight. God is already holding it. Let your body relax even more. Let your shoulders sink deeper. Let your jaw loosen. Let your breathing slow down just a little further. You are not in a place of pressure anymore. You are in a place of peace. And even if that peace feels unfamiliar at first, even if it feels quiet in a way you're not used to, you can trust it. Because it's not coming from your circumstances. It's coming from God Himself. The same God who heals what is broken, who restores what is worn down, who sees what no one else sees. As it says, He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. That means even the parts of you don't talk about, even the quiet struggles, even the hidden heaviness. He is already touching those places with care and compassion. And the beautiful thing is, He doesn't need you to explain everything before He helps you. He doesn't need you to have the right words. He doesn't need you to fix yourself first. He simply asks you to come as you are, tired, uncertain, maybe even overwhelmed, and allow Him to be enough for you in this moment. Because He is enough, more than enough. And while you rest, while your body sleeps, He continues working in ways you cannot see, restoring your strength, calming your mind, preparing things ahead of you. Just like it says, God stands beside you even in your hardest moments, not leaving, not stepping away, but staying close in ways that are constant and unshakable. So you can release the need to control tomorrow. You can let go of the pressure to understand everything. You can stop replaying the same thoughts over and over, because none of those things are required for God to move in your life. He is already moving, even now, even here, even in this quiet. And as your thoughts begin to slow and your awareness gently fades, allow yourself to lean into that truth. God is with me. God is for me. God is working even while I sleep. If your mind drifts again, that's okay. Just gently bring it back. Not with effort, not with frustration, but with softness. Like waves returning to shore, like breathing in and out. You are not failing at rest. You are learning how to receive it, and that takes time. But right now, in this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. Safe, held, covered in a peace that doesn't depend on anything external. And as sleep comes closer, as your body grows heavier and your thoughts become quieter, hold on to this one simple truth. You are not alone in this night. You are not forgotten in this season. You are not carrying your life by yourself. God is right here, surrounding you, watching over you, gently guiding everything in ways you may not understand yet, but will one day. And if you're still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 8 in the comments, just as a quiet sign that you're choosing to trust, even in the silence. And now, let go completely and drift into the deep, peaceful rest that God has prepared for you tonight. And as the stillness deepens even more, there is something almost sacred about this moment. Something quiet but powerful happening beneath the surface of your thoughts. You may not feel it fully yet, you may not even be aware of it clearly, but your soul is beginning to settle. The tension that followed you through the day is slowly loosening its grip, and the noise that once felt overwhelming is fading into the background. This is what happens when you allow yourself to stop striving and start resting in God's presence. Because rest is not just physical, it is spiritual. It is the quiet surrender of your need to control everything, and the gentle acceptance that God is already in control. And right now, without effort, without pressure, you are stepping into that place. You don't have to rush this moment. You don't have to force yourself to feel anything specific. Just stay here, breathing slowly, letting your body soften, letting your thoughts drift like clouds passing across a calm sky. And if something tries to pull your attention back, a worry, a memory, a question about tomorrow, you don't have to fight it. Just notice it and then gently release it again. Because tonight is not for carrying things. Tonight is for laying them down. The Bible reminds you in Psalm 4 verse 8, I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. That means your safety is not something you have to create. It is something God provides, right now, in this very moment. So let that truth settle deeper into your heart. You are safe. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because God is present. And His presence is enough. It has always been enough. Even in the moments when you felt unsure, even in the times when things didn't make sense, even when you questioned what was happening, He was still there, watching, guiding, protecting, and He has not changed. He is the same now as He was then, faithful, steady, constant. As your breathing becomes slower, you may begin to notice how your body feels heavier, more supported, more at ease. That's not just physical tiredness. That's release. That's what it feels like when your body no longer carries the weight your mind was holding on to. And you can go even deeper into that. You can let your hands rest completely. Let your shoulders drop even more. Let your eyelids grow heavier without resistance. You don't have to stay alert. You don't have to stay in control. God is already awake. He is already watching over you. Psalm 121 verse 4 says, Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. That means while you rest, He remains. While you sleep, He watches. While you let go, He holds everything together. And maybe that is what you need most tonight. Not answers, not clarity, not solutions, but the assurance that you don't have to stay awake to make life work. You don't have to figure everything out before you rest. God is not waiting for you to solve things. He is inviting you to trust Him with them. And trust doesn't always feel strong or confident. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes it feels like simply choosing to rest even when you don't understand. And that is enough. That is more than enough. As your thoughts slow down even further, you may begin to feel a gentle calm spreading through your chest, like a soft warmth, like a quiet stillness that replaces the tension that was there before. That is peace. Not the kind the world gives, not temporary distraction, but real peace. The kind that stays even when nothing else changes. Jesus said in John 14 verse 27, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. That peace is here now. Not somewhere far away, not something you have to earn. It is already being placed inside you softly, gently, as you rest. And the more you allow yourself to stay in this moment, the deeper that peace becomes. It moves beyond your thoughts and into your body, into your breathing, into your heart. Quiets the need to rush. It softens the need to control. It reminds you that you are not behind, you are not late, you are not missing something. You are exactly where you need to be right now, held in a moment that God has already prepared for your rest. So if your mind begins to fade, let it. If your thoughts become slower, let them. If sleep starts to come, don't resist it. This is not something you have to manage. This is something you are allowed to receive. And even as you drift further, even as your awareness gently slips away, nothing is being lost. God is still there, still working, still surrounding you with a quiet kind of protection that does not need your attention to remain. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 9 in the comments. Not as something loud or demanding, but as something quiet and personal. A small sign that says, I am letting go, I am trusting, I am resting in God tonight. And now, slowly, peacefully, drift deeper and let His presence carry you fully into rest. And now, as everything grows even quieter, there is a deeper layer of rest opening up to you, not just the kind your body feels, but the kind your soul has been needing for a long time. This is the place where you are no longer trying to manage your life, no longer trying to hold everything together, no longer rehearsing the same thoughts over and over again. Instead, you are simply being held. And there is something incredibly powerful about that. Because when you stop striving, you begin to experience how gently God carries what you once thought you had to carry alone. There may have been moments today where you felt stretched, where your energy was pulled in too many directions, where your mind kept moving even when your body wanted to rest. And now, in contrast to all of that movement, the stillness might feel unfamiliar, almost like stepping into a space where nothing is being demanded from you. But that is exactly what this moment is. There is nothing required of you here. No performance, no solutions, no expectations. Just rest, just quiet, just presence. And as you remain here, you might begin to notice something subtle. Your thoughts are no longer as sharp or urgent as they were before. They are softer now, slower, less demanding, like distant echoes instead of loud voices. And that shift is important because it shows that your mind is beginning to release its grip. You are no longer trying to control every outcome. You are no longer trying to predict every possibility. You are allowing things to simply be. And in doing so, you are creating space for peace to settle deeper inside you. The Bible says in Isaiah 30 verse 15, "In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Not in rushing, not in overthinking, not in forcing answers, but in quietness." And right now, that quietness is becoming your strength. It is restoring something within you that the busyness of life often drains away. It is reminding you that you don't need constant motion to move forward. Sometimes the most important progress happens when you are still. Let your breathing guide you deeper into that stillness. Inhale slowly, and as you do, feel a sense of calm entering your body. Exhale gently, and let go of any remaining tension, any small traces of pressure you might still be holding. You don't need to identify every thought you're releasing. You don't need to name every feeling. Just let them pass, like waves that rise and fall without needing your control. And as your body continues to relax, you may begin to feel a kind of heaviness, but not the kind that weighs you down. This is a peaceful heaviness, a grounded feeling, the kind that comes when your body knows it is safe to rest fully, when your muscles no longer feel the need to stay alert, when your mind no longer feels responsible for everything. This is the kind of rest that restores you from the inside out. Even the things you didn't resolve today, they can wait. The conversations you didn't finish, the questions you didn't answer, the plans you didn't complete, none of them need your attention right now. They are not urgent in this moment, because this moment is for restoration. And God is not limited by time the way you are. What feels delayed to you is not delayed to Him. What feels unfinished to you is already being worked on in ways you cannot see. So you can release the quiet pressure to figure things out tomorrow. You can let go of the subtle tension that says you need to be ready, prepared, in control. Because God is already ahead of you, already preparing what needs to be prepared, already aligning what needs to come together. And you don't have to stay awake to make that happen. As your awareness continues to soften, notice how your body feels supported, fully held by whatever surface you're resting on. There is no effort required to stay there, no energy needed to maintain that support. And in the same way, God is supporting your life right now without strain, without effort, without missing a single detail. Everything about you is known. Everything about you is seen. And nothing about your life is outside of His care. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 10 in the comments. The more you allow yourself to trust that, even in a quiet, gentle way, the deeper your rest becomes. Because peace grows where trust is present. Not perfect trust, not complete understanding, just a simple willingness to let go a little more than you did before. And now, as sleep comes closer, as your thoughts become even more distant and your body more still, you don't need to do anything else. There is no final step, no last thing to think about. Just continue drifting, slowly, naturally, carried by a peace that does not depend on you holding it together. Let everything fade. Let everything soften. And rest fully in the quiet care that is surrounding you right now. And as you continue drifting in this quiet space, something even deeper begins to unfold within you. A kind of surrender that doesn't feel forced, doesn't feel like giving up, but instead feels like being gently relieved of a weight you were never meant to carry this long. You might not even realize how much you've been holding until this moment, when your body begins to fully relax and your thoughts lose their urgency. It's almost as if your entire being is slowly remembering what it feels like to rest without pressure. And that remembering is important because it reconnects you with something true, that you were not created to live in constant tension, but to live supported, guided, and held by God in ways that go far beyond your own effort. There is no need to rush this process. Let it happen slowly, naturally, without trying to control it. Because the more you try to force rest, the further it feels. But the more you allow it, the more it gently surrounds you. Think of it like sinking into calm water. You don't push yourself down, you simply let yourself float. And right now, you are floating in a moment that is completely safe, completely quiet, completely covered by a presence that does not leave. Even if your mind tries to reach for something to think about, something to analyze, something to hold on to, you can gently bring it back again, not with effort but with softness. There is nothing you need to solve right now, nothing you need to prepare, nothing you need to figure out before you rest. Sometimes the hardest part is simply allowing yourself to stop, because stopping can feel unfamiliar, can feel like you're falling behind, like you're missing something, like you should be doing more. But that feeling is not truth. It's just habit. And tonight you are stepping out of that habit. You are stepping into something slower, something quieter, something more aligned with how God intended you to live. Not in constant striving, but in steady trust. Because even when you are still, God is not. He is always working, always moving, always preparing things ahead of you in ways you cannot yet see. And maybe there is something in your life right now that feels unresolved, something that keeps returning to your thoughts, something that feels unfinished or uncertain. You don't have to push it away forcefully. You can acknowledge it gently and then place it into God's hands. Not as a symbolic act, but as a real decision that you are not going to carry it through the night. You are not going to let it follow you into your rest. Because rest is not just about your body sleeping. It's about your mind being free, even if just for a little while. And that freedom is something God wants for you. As your breathing continues to slow, you may notice that your chest feels lighter now, less tight, less heavy. That's the release happening. That's what it feels like when your system begins to settle, when your mind stops signaling urgency, when your body realizes it no longer needs to stay alert. This is where true rest begins, not when everything is solved, but when your inner world becomes calm enough to let go. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 11 in the comments. There is also something comforting about knowing that you don't have to maintain this peace by yourself. You don't have to hold on to it tightly, because the kind of peace God gives is not fragile. It doesn't disappear the moment your thoughts shift. It remains even underneath everything. Even if you don't feel it perfectly, even if your mind drifts again, even if small worries try to return, that peace is still there, steady and quiet, like a foundation beneath you. And the more you stay here, the more your awareness softens, the more your thoughts begin to fade into the background, the more natural it becomes to let go completely. You are not losing control. You are being released from the need to control. And that is a very different thing. It is not weakness. It is trust. It is the quiet decision to allow God to be who He already is, your protector, your guide, your provider, your peace. Your body knows how to rest. It was designed for this. Your mind knows how to quiet down. It just needed space. And your spirit recognizes this moment, this calm, this stillness, this presence. Even if you don't fully understand it, there is nothing missing here, nothing incomplete, nothing you need to add. Everything you need for this moment is already here. So let your thoughts become even softer now, like distant whispers instead of clear voices. Let your breathing become slow and steady without thinking about it. Let your body sink fully into rest without holding anything back. You are not on guard anymore. You are not responsible for holding everything together. You are simply here, resting, supported, carried in a quiet way that requires nothing from you in return. And as sleep gently comes closer, you don't need to notice the exact moment it happens. You don't need to track it or wait for it. Just continue allowing everything to slow down, everything to soften, everything to release. Because rest is not something you achieve. It is something you receive. And right now, without effort, without pressure, you are receiving it more deeply than before. And as you move even deeper into this quiet state, there is a subtle shift happening. One that you don't have to force, one that doesn't require your attention, but one that gently carries you further away from the weight of the day and closer to a place of complete surrender. It's almost like the world you were in earlier is becoming distant now. The urgency, the noise, the constant thinking, all of it fading into something far less important than it once felt. And in its place, there is a calm that feels steady, grounded, and safe. This is the kind of calm that doesn't come from everything being resolved, but from knowing that you are no longer responsible for holding everything together. There may have been a time when you believed that if you didn't keep thinking, keep planning, keep trying to stay ahead, things might fall apart. But right now, you are being shown something different. You are being shown that life continues even when you rest, that God continues working even when you are still, that not everything depends on your constant effort. And there is something incredibly freeing about realizing that, because it means you can finally allow yourself to stop, not permanently, not in a way that removes you from life, but in a way that restores you so you can return with clarity, strength, and peace. As your body continues to relax, you may notice how natural it feels to let go now compared to earlier. What once required effort is now happening on its own. Your breathing has slowed without you needing to guide it. Your muscles have softened without you needing to tell them to. Even your thoughts, they are no longer demanding your full attention. They come and go quietly without pulling you in. And this is important because it shows that your system is beginning to trust this moment. Trust that it is safe to release control. Trust that it is safe to rest deeply. There is no need to check in on anything. No need to revisit what happened today or anticipate what might happen tomorrow. Those things belong to another time. Right now, you are in a space where nothing is required, nothing is urgent, nothing is unfinished. This moment is complete on its own. And the more you allow yourself to stay here, the more you begin to feel that completeness, that sense that nothing is missing, nothing needs to be added. You might begin to feel as though you are gently drifting, not in a disorienting way, but in a calm, steady way, like being carried by something that knows exactly where you need to go without asking you to direct it. And that is what this rest is doing. It is carrying you deeper without effort, without pressure, without expectation. You don't need to guide it. You don't need to manage it. You only need to allow it. And even if there are small remnants of thought still present, that's okay. They don't have power here. They don't need to be pushed away. They will fade on their own as you continue to rest. Because your mind is no longer in a state of urgency. It is in a state of release. And in that release, everything begins to slow down naturally. There is also something deeply reassuring about knowing that you are not alone in this process. Even though the room may be quiet, even though everything around you is still, there is a presence that remains constant. Not loud, not overwhelming, but steady, like something that has always been there, even when you weren't paying attention to it. And that presence is not dependent on your awareness. It does not come and go. It remains, watching, holding, surrounding, quietly ensuring that you are safe to let go completely. As your awareness continues to soften, you may find that it becomes harder to hold on to clear thoughts. They slip away more easily now, replaced by a kind of gentle emptiness that is not uncomfortable, but peaceful. This is not a loss of control. This is rest taking over. This is your mind stepping back so your body and spirit can be restored in ways that thinking alone cannot achieve. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 12 in the comments. There is no final step you need to take from here. No last thing to focus on. No technique to follow. You have already done everything you need to do simply by allowing yourself to be here. And now everything else happens naturally. The transition into sleep is not something you need to chase. It comes to you, quietly, gently, without announcement. So let yourself drift even more. Let the last bits of awareness fade without resistance. Let your body become fully still, fully supported, fully at rest. There is nothing left to manage, nothing left to hold, nothing left to figure out. Only this quiet, this calm, this deep, steady peace that is carrying you exactly where you need to go. And now, as you continue to sink deeper into this stillness, there is an even softer layer of quiet beginning to unfold. A place where your thoughts no longer try to organize themselves, where your mind no longer searches for direction, and where everything simply begins to settle into a calm that feels effortless. This is not something you are creating. It is something you are entering. A space that has always been available, but often overlooked in the noise and movement of everyday life. And the longer you remain here, the more natural it becomes to let go completely, without hesitation, without resistance. You might begin to notice that even the idea of trying to rest has disappeared. There is no more trying, no more effort, just a gentle drifting, like being carried by something steady and quiet that asks nothing from you. And that is the difference now. Earlier, your mind may have still been holding on, still trying to guide the process, still checking in. But now those habits are fading. You are no longer monitoring anything. You are no longer managing anything. You are simply resting. If any last thoughts pass through, they are lighter now, almost like distant echoes that don't quite reach you. They don't pull you in. They don't ask for your attention. They simply pass, and you remain here, steady, calm, untouched by their movement. And that's how you know you've reached a deeper level of rest. When your inner world no longer reacts, no longer chases, no longer holds on. There is also a kind of quiet trust forming here. Not something loud or declared, but something felt. A trust that everything is okay even if you don't check. A trust that nothing is falling apart just because you've stopped paying attention. A trust that you are allowed to fully release your grip without anything being lost. And that trust is important because it allows your entire system to soften even more. It tells your body that it is safe. It tells your mind that it can finally be still. Your breathing now is slow and natural, happening on its own without any need to guide it. Each inhale is gentle, each exhale even softer, like a quiet rhythm that continues without effort. And with every breath, you sink a little deeper, not downward, but inward, into a place where everything feels settled and complete. The Bible says in Psalm 121 verse 4, "He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep." That means even as your awareness fades, even as your body fully relaxes, God remains present, watching, protecting, holding everything together. So let go completely now. Let yourself drift deeper, and allow this peace to carry you gently, slowly, into deep, uninterrupted sleep, while God continues to work quietly on your behalf. As you continue to drift deeper into the stillness, allow yourself to move beyond even the awareness of resting. You are no longer trying to relax. You are already there. You are no longer trying to let go. You have already released everything. What remains now is a deep, steady peace that surrounds you, holds you, and gently carries you further into rest. Your thoughts have become distant, almost silent. They no longer have weight. They no longer ask for your attention. They simply pass, fading before they fully form. And as they disappear, you are left with something deeper, something calm, something unshakable. This is the peace of God. The Bible says in Philippians 4 verse 7, "And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds." This is not a peace you have to understand. It is not something you have to explain. It is something you experience, something that holds you, something that keeps you even as you sleep. So let that peace take over completely now. Let your mind rest fully. Let your body relax completely. Let your spirit settle deeply. There is nothing left for you to carry. Because while you rest, God works. Even now, even in this silence, even as your awareness fades, He is moving. The Bible says in Psalm 33 verse 20, "Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield." And even now, your soul is resting in that waiting, not striving, not reaching, but trusting. You are not responsible for holding everything together. God is already doing that. Father, we come before you in this quiet moment, and we surrender everything completely. Every last thought, every hidden worry, every remaining tension, we release it into your hands. Your word says in Psalm 29 verse 11, "The Lord will bless His people with peace." And right now we receive that peace, not a temporary calm, but a deep, steady peace that fills every part of our being. Let that peace settle even deeper now, into your mind, calming every last thought, into your body, relaxing every remaining tension, into your spirit, quieting every hidden fear. You don't have to force this. This is what happens when God's presence fills the moment. And He is here, closer than your breath, closer than your thoughts. The Bible says in Psalm 139 verse 10, "Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me." And even now you are being held, gently, securely, completely, so you are not resting alone. You are resting in His hands. And as your body becomes heavier, let your awareness become lighter. Let your thoughts fade completely, becoming soft, distant, almost gone. You don't need to stay aware anymore. You are safe to drift. Father, we ask that you would continue to guard every moment of this night. Let no fear return. Let no anxious thought rise again. Let this peace remain steady and unbroken as sleep comes fully. Surround this space with your presence. Fill this room with your peace. Let this atmosphere remain calm, safe, and protected. Your senses are quieter now too. Sounds, if there are any, feel distant and unimportant. The space around you feels soft, undefined, almost like it is fading along with your thoughts. You are no longer aware of details. You are no longer focused on anything external. Everything is turning inward, gently guiding you into a deeper level of rest that does not require your attention to continue. And as this continues, even the idea of resting begins to fade. You are no longer thinking about rest. You are no longer aware that you are relaxing. You are simply in it, fully, completely, without needing to recognize it. And that is where the deepest sleep begins, not when you decide to sleep, but when there is nothing left to keep you awake. There is nothing left to process, nothing left to revisit, nothing left to prepare. The day has fully released you, and you have fully released it. Whatever belonged to earlier has stayed there. Whatever belongs to later has not yet arrived. And you are no longer in between those things. You are here, in a space that exists outside of all of that, quiet, steady, undisturbed. Your body feels supported without effort. Your breathing continues without awareness. Your thoughts have softened into something that barely forms at all. And even your sense of being here is becoming lighter, less defined, almost like it is gently dissolving into the calm that surrounds you. There is no need to hold onto anything from this moment. No need to remember it. No need to stay aware of it. In fact, the more you let go of even that, the deeper you go. Because sleep is not something you step into consciously. It is something that takes over when everything else has quieted enough. And now, there is nothing left to do, nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow. Just this quiet, this steady calm, this gentle drifting that continues on its own, carrying you softly, naturally, into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where everything fades completely and rest takes over fully. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 15 in the comments. And now, as everything continues to soften beyond what you can clearly notice, there is almost a sense that you are no longer holding on to anything at all, not thoughts, not awareness, not even the feeling of trying to rest. It's as if everything has gently slipped out of your hands without effort, without resistance, leaving behind only a quiet, steady stillness that does not need to be maintained. This is the point where nothing feels separate anymore. Your breathing, your body, the calm around you, it all blends into one continuous, peaceful experience that simply exists without needing your attention. Your mind is no longer forming clear ideas now. If anything appears, it is faint, unfinished, and gone before it can fully arrive. There is no need to follow it, no need to understand it. Passes like something distant, something that doesn't belong to this moment. And you remain here, in this quiet, untouched by any movement of thought. The part of you that once needed to stay aware, to stay alert, to keep track of everything, has finally stepped back. It is no longer needed. Your body has settled into a level of stillness that feels complete. There are no small adjustments, no lingering tension, no subtle effort to stay comfortable. Everything has found its place. Your muscles are loose, your breathing is slow and natural, your entire physical state is supported without any need for control. Even the sense of where your body begins and ends feels softer now, less defined, as if you are resting not just in your body, but beyond it. And in this place, there is no urgency at all. No reason to move forward, no reason to go back, no reason to think about anything outside of this quiet. Time has become something distant, almost irrelevant. There is no past here, no future. Only this steady, unchanging calm that continues without interruption. You are not waiting for sleep anymore. You are already within the space where sleep happens. Your awareness is fading gently now, not in a sudden way, but in a slow and natural way that feels completely safe. It's like a light dimming gradually, becoming softer and softer until it is no longer something you notice. You don't need to hold on to it. You don't need to stay present. In fact, the less you try to remain aware, the deeper you go. Because there is nothing left here that requires your attention. Even the feeling of you being here begins to dissolve into the quiet. Not disappearing, but becoming less separate, less distinct. Like you are no longer observing the calm, but becoming part of it. There is no boundary between you and this stillness anymore. No edge, no separation, no distance. Just a continuous, peaceful presence that holds everything without needing to define anything. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 16 in the comments. There is no need to return to anything from earlier. No need to revisit any part of the day. Whatever mattered before no longer has a place here. It has already been released, already been set down. And what remains is something much simpler, much quieter, much more restful. A space where nothing is required, nothing is expected, nothing is unfinished. Your breathing continues, slow and steady, without awareness. Your body remains still without effort. Your thoughts have faded into something so light they no longer form at all. And even this moment, this awareness, is becoming softer, less present, gently slipping away without resistance. There is nothing left to guide, nothing left to follow, nothing left to do. Everything is already happening on its own. The transition into sleep is no longer something you notice. It is simply unfolding, naturally, quietly, without interruption. So now, let everything fade completely. Let the last traces of awareness dissolve without holding on to them. Let the quiet take over entirely and drift fully into a deep, peaceful sleep where nothing remains except rest, steady, uninterrupted, and complete. And now, as you move beyond even the soft edge of awareness, there is a kind of stillness that no longer needs to be described or understood. A stillness that simply exists quiet and steady, without asking anything from you. At this point, it may feel as though there is almost nothing left to notice, nothing left to follow, nothing left to hold on to. And that is exactly where you are meant to be, in a place where everything has settled so deeply that even the act of resting is no longer something you are aware of doing. It is simply happening. Your mind, which once moved so actively, is now completely at ease. It no longer searches for thoughts, no longer tries to make sense of anything, no longer reaches outward. It has become quiet in a way that feels natural, not forced. And because of that, there is no resistance here. Nothing to quiet down, nothing to push away. The stillness is complete on its own. Your body remains in that same calm, supported state, fully relaxed, fully at rest, without even the smallest need to adjust. The sense of physical presence is softer now, almost fading into the background. You are no longer focused on where you are or how you are positioned. Those details no longer matter. Everything has blended into a gentle, continuous feeling of comfort that holds you without effort. There is no sense of time here anymore. No awareness of how long you have been here or what comes next. Time has stepped aside completely, leaving only this quiet space that does not change, does not move, does not demand anything. You are not waiting. You are not moving toward anything. You are simply here, in a state that feels complete without needing to become anything else. Even the idea of sleep has become unnecessary. You are no longer approaching sleep. You are already within the depth where sleep naturally exists. There is no transition to notice, no moment to recognize. It is happening in the background, gently and continuously, without needing your awareness to confirm it. Your awareness itself is now so soft, so faint, that it barely forms at all. It flickers lightly, like something that is no longer trying to stay. And there is no need to hold on to it. You can let it go completely. Nothing will be lost. Nothing will be missed. In fact, the more you release it, the deeper the rest becomes. There are no thoughts to return to, no memories to revisit, no plans to prepare. Everything that belonged to earlier has already been released. Everything that belongs to later has not yet arrived. And you are no longer in between those things. You are in a place where none of that exists. Only this quiet, steady stillness that continues without interruption. Your breathing remains slow and effortless, but even that is no longer something you are aware of. Continues on its own, like everything else in this moment. Your body remains still, but you are no longer noticing it. Your mind remains quiet, but you are no longer observing that quiet. Everything is simply happening. And in this place, there is no separation. No distinction between you and the calm that surrounds you. No boundary between your awareness and the stillness that holds it. Everything has blended into one continuous, peaceful state that does not need to be defined. There is nothing left to guide you now. Nothing left to follow. Nothing left to hold. The process is complete. The release is complete. The rest is complete. So now, without effort, without awareness, without any need to remain present, let everything fade fully. Let the last trace of noticing dissolve completely, and allow yourself to sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where even this quiet disappears and only rest remains. And now, as everything has softened to its quietest point, there is almost nothing left to describe, because you are no longer in a place where things need to be described. The mind that once followed words, that once held on to meaning, that once stayed aware of each moment, has gently stepped away. And what remains is not empty in a cold or distant way, but full in a quiet, steady way that doesn't need to be noticed to exist. This is the kind of stillness that holds you without asking you to stay present, without asking you to understand it, without asking you to do anything at all. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 18 in the comment. There is no movement here, no urgency, no direction. Everything has come to rest. And even the idea of everything no longer feels defined. It has all blended into a soft, continuous calm that simply surrounds you, carries you, and keeps you without effort. You are not observing it. You are not interacting with it. You are simply within it, in a way that feels natural, effortless, and complete. Your awareness, if it is still there at all, is faint now. So faint that it doesn't form clear thoughts, doesn't hold on to any single thing. It drifts in and out quietly, like something that is no longer trying to remain. And there is no need to bring it back, no need to hold on to it, because the deeper you allow it to fade, the deeper the rest becomes. Nothing important is tied to staying aware. Nothing is lost when you let go. Your body remains fully supported, but even that sense is no longer clear. It has softened into the background, no longer something you are paying attention to. The edges of your physical presence feel less defined, less separate, as if you are no longer contained in one place, but gently spread into the calm that surrounds you. There is no need to check your position, no need to adjust, no need to notice anything physical at all. Everything is already settled. Your breathing continues somewhere, steady and quiet, but it no longer feels like something you are doing. It simply happens like everything else in this moment. There is no effort behind it, no awareness guiding it. It is part of the same calm that holds everything together without needing your attention. There is no sense of time now, no awareness of how long you have been here, no thought about what comes next. Time has completely stepped away, leaving only this unchanging stillness that does not move forward or backward. You are not waiting for anything. You are not moving toward anything. You are simply resting in something that is already complete. Even the idea of being here begins to fade. Not disappearing, but becoming less defined, less separate. The sense of you as an observer softens, blends, and gently dissolves into the quiet that surrounds everything. There is no longer a clear line between you and the stillness. No boundary, no distinction. Just one continuous, peaceful state that exists without needing to be noticed. There are no thoughts returning now. No questions, no reminders, no images forming clearly. If anything appears at all, it is faint and incomplete, gone before it can fully arrive. And you remain untouched by it, because there is nothing in you reaching out to follow it. There is nothing left to release because everything has already been released. Nothing left to quiet because everything is already still. Nothing left to understand because nothing here requires understanding. This is where the deepest rest happens, not when you try to sleep, not when you notice yourself drifting, but when there is nothing left in you that needs to stay awake. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 19 in the comments. And now, even these last traces of awareness can fade completely without effort, without hesitation, without needing to recognize the moment it happens. Just let it go fully, gently, completely, and allow yourself to sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where even this quiet disappears and only rest remains, steady and endless until morning comes. And now, as you remain in this depth where everything has already softened beyond effort, there is almost a sense that nothing more can be added, nothing more needs to happen, and nothing more will interrupt what has already become so still. You are no longer moving toward rest. You are resting. Not in a way that you are aware of, not in a way that you are tracking, but in a way that has fully taken over without asking for permission. And that is what makes this moment complete. The absence of effort, the absence of awareness trying to stay present, the absence of anything that needs your attention. There is no longer a need to follow words, even these. They pass softly, without requiring you to hold on to them. Meaning fades as quickly as it forms, leaving behind only a quiet space that feels steady and uninterrupted. You are not trying to understand anything now. You are not trying to stay connected to anything. Everything that once required focus has already slipped away. Your mind is no longer forming clear thoughts. If anything appears, it is incomplete, unfinished, and gone before it can take shape. There is no need to notice it, no need to follow it. It dissolves on its own, and you remain here, untouched, undisturbed, completely at ease. The part of you that once stayed alert, once tried to stay aware, once held on to control, has completely stepped back. It is no longer needed. Your body continues to rest, fully supported, fully still, but even that is no longer something you are aware of in a clear way. The sense of your physical presence has softened into something distant, something that no longer defines where you are or how you feel. You are not focused on your body anymore. You are simply within the calm that surrounds everything. Your breathing continues quietly, naturally, but it is no longer something you notice. It happens without awareness, without effort, like everything else in this moment. There is nothing guiding it, nothing adjusting it. It simply continues, steady and soft, part of the same stillness that holds you completely. There is no time here, no awareness of moments passing, no sense of before or after. Time has stepped away entirely, leaving only this steady quiet that does not change, does not move, does not lead anywhere. You are not waiting for sleep. You are not moving toward it. You are already within the space where sleep has taken over fully. Even the sense of you being here is fading now, not disappearing, but becoming less defined, less separate. The feeling of being an observer softens, blends, and gently dissolves into the calm itself. There is no longer a distinction between you and this stillness. No boundary, no edge, no separation. Just a continuous, peaceful presence that holds everything without needing to define anything. There is nothing left to return to. Nothing left from earlier remains here. Nothing from tomorrow has entered. You are not in between anything anymore. You are outside of all of that, resting in a place where nothing is required, nothing is expected, nothing is unfinished. There are no thoughts pulling you back. No reminders, no questions, no images forming clearly. If anything appears at all, it is faint and gone before it can be noticed. And you remain here, steady and undisturbed, without any need to follow it. Everything that needed to slow down has slowed. Everything that needed to release has released. Everything that needed to quiet has become still. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to guide, nothing left to hold. And now even the faintest trace of awareness can fade completely without effort, without hesitation, without needing to recognize the moment it disappears. Just let it go gently, fully, completely, and allow yourself to sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where nothing remains except rest, quiet, steady, and complete until the morning comes. And now, as this quiet continues without interruption, there is almost a sense that nothing remains that could pull you back into awareness. No thought strong enough to form, no feeling strong enough to rise, no part of you that needs to stay alert. Everything has softened beyond that point. Everything has settled into a stillness so complete that even the idea of stillness no longer needs to be noticed. Simply is steady, quiet, unchanging. You are no longer following anything now. Not words, not thoughts, not even the feeling of drifting. The process has already carried you beyond that. There is nothing to guide, nothing to track, nothing to stay aware of. And because of that, there is nothing left to interrupt this rest. Continues on its own, naturally, without asking anything from you. Your mind has become completely quiet, not in a forced way, not in a controlled way, but in a natural way, as if it has gently stepped aside because it is no longer needed. There are no clear thoughts forming now. If anything appears at all, it is faint and unfinished, gone before it can take shape. And you remain here untouched by it, because there is nothing in you reaching out to follow it anymore. Your body remains fully at rest, but even that awareness has faded. You are no longer focused on how you feel physically. The sense of your body has softened into something distant, something that no longer defines your experience. There is no need to adjust, no need to check, no need to notice anything at all. Everything is already settled. Your breathing continues quietly somewhere, but it is no longer something you are aware of. It happens on its own, like everything else in this moment. There is no effort behind it, no attention guiding it. It simply continues, steady and calm, part of the same stillness that surrounds everything. And if you are still here, still listening, still allowing yourself to rest in this presence, gently type 20 in the comments. Time has completely disappeared here. There is no sense of how long this has lasted, no awareness of what comes next. There is no movement forward, no movement backward. Only this quiet, unchanging calm that exists without needing to lead anywhere. You are not waiting for sleep. You are not approaching it. You are already within it. Even the sense of being here is fading now, becoming softer, less defined, less separate. The feeling of you as something distinct begins to dissolve into the calm itself. There is no boundary between you and this stillness anymore. No edge, no separation. Just one continuous, peaceful presence that does not need to be noticed to exist. There is nothing left from the day. Nothing left to revisit. Nothing left to think about. Nothing left to carry. It has all been released completely, and nothing from tomorrow has entered either. You are not between anything anymore. You are in a place where none of that exists. Only the steady, quiet rest that continues without interruption. There are no thoughts returning now. No reminders, no questions, no images forming clearly. If anything appears, it fades before it can be held. And you remain untouched because there is nothing in you trying to hold on to it. Everything that needed to happen has already happened. The release is complete. The quiet is complete. The rest is complete. There is nothing left to guide, nothing left to follow, nothing left to do. And now, even the last faint trace of awareness can disappear completely, without effort, without hesitation, without needing to notice when it happens. Just let it fade fully, gently, completely, and sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where even this quiet dissolves and only rest remains, steady, endless, and complete until the morning arrives. And now, as everything has reached this depth where even the quiet feels like it no longer needs to be noticed, there is a sense that you have moved beyond anything that requires your attention at all, beyond thoughts, beyond awareness, beyond even the feeling of resting. What remains is something so simple, so still, that it does not ask to be understood or followed. It simply continues, steady, uninterrupted, without needing anything from you. There is no longer a need to stay connected to anything you hear, anything you might think, or anything you might feel. Those layers have already softened and drifted away. Words pass through without leaving anything behind. Thoughts, if they attempt to form, dissolve before they can take shape. And you remain here, not holding on to anything, not reaching for anything, not following anything. Your mind has completely stepped back now. It is no longer active, no longer searching, no longer organizing or observing. There is no effort to quiet it because it is already quiet. There is no need to release anything because everything has already been released. It has settled into a natural stillness that does not need to be maintained. Your body continues to rest fully, but even that awareness is gone now. There is no sense of where you are positioned, no awareness of your muscles, no need to notice any physical sensation. The body remains supported, but it no longer defines your experience. It has become part of the background, part of the same calm that holds everything together. Your breathing continues quietly, but it is no longer something you notice or guide. It happens on its own, like everything else in this moment. There is no control, no awareness, no effort behind it. Just a steady rhythm that continues without needing you to be present for it. Time has completely faded away. There is no sense of moments passing, no awareness of before or after. There is no waiting, no anticipating, no tracking. Only this unchanging calm that exists without movement, without direction, without needing to lead anywhere. Even the sense of being here has softened to the point where it no longer feels defined. The idea of you as separate from this calm has gently dissolved. There is no boundary, no edge, no distinction. You are no longer observing the stillness. You are within it, part of it, inseparable from it. There is nothing left from the day. Nothing left to think about, nothing left to resolve, nothing left to carry. It has all been released fully, and nothing from tomorrow has entered. There is no future here, no past here. Only this quiet, steady presence that continues without interruption. There are no thoughts forming now. No images, no words, no ideas. If anything appears at all, it fades instantly, leaving nothing behind. And you remain untouched, because there is nothing in you reaching out to hold on to anything. Everything that needed to settle has settled. Everything that needed to slow down has slowed completely. Everything that needed to quiet has become still. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to guide, nothing left to follow. And now even the faintest trace of awareness can disappear completely, without effort, without hesitation, without needing to notice the moment it fades. Just let everything go fully, gently, completely, and sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where nothing remains except rest, quiet, steady, endless, until morning comes. And now, as you remain in this depth where even the quiet no longer feels like something you notice, there is a sense that everything has already reached its most complete state. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to deepen further. Nothing needs to be guided. You are no longer moving toward rest because you have already arrived in it. And even the idea of arriving fades because there is no movement here, no transition, no shift that needs to be recognized. There is only this steady, unbroken stillness that continues on its own. Time no longer exists here. There is no awareness of how long this has lasted, no sense of what comes next. There is no past, no future, no movement between moments. Only this steady, unchanging calm that does not lead anywhere. You are not approaching sleep. You are not entering it. You are already fully within it. Even the sense of being you has softened completely. It is no longer something separate, no longer something defined. The boundary between you and this stillness has dissolved entirely. There is no edge, no distinction. You are not observing the calm. You are part of it, resting within it without needing to recognize it. There is nothing left from earlier, nothing to revisit, nothing to carry, nothing to understand. The day has fully released you, and you have fully released it, and nothing from tomorrow has entered. There is no anticipation, no preparation, no thought of what comes next. There are no thoughts returning, no reminders, no questions, no images forming clearly. If anything appears, it fades instantly, leaving nothing behind. And you remain untouched, because there is nothing in you trying to hold onto anything. Everything that needed to quiet has quieted completely. Everything that needed to release has released fully. Everything that needed to slow down has slowed beyond awareness. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to guide, nothing left to follow. And now even the faintest trace of awareness can fade completely without effort, without hesitation, without needing to notice the moment it disappears. Just let everything go fully, gently, completely, and sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where nothing remains except rest, quiet, steady, endless, until morning comes. And now, as everything has already become so still that even the quiet no longer feels like something you are aware of, there is a sense that nothing remains that could bring you back into thought. Nothing remains that could ask for your attention. You are no longer in a state where anything needs to happen. There is no movement here, no change, no unfolding. Everything has already settled into a calm so complete that it does not need to deepen, does not need to continue, does not need to be noticed. It simply is steady, uninterrupted, and fully at rest. There is no need to follow these words anymore. They pass through gently, without meaning, without weight, without asking to be remembered. Your mind does not reach for them, does not hold them, does not try to understand them. It has already released that need completely. There is no effort to stay present, no effort to remain aware. Everything has softened beyond that point. There are no thoughts forming now, no inner voice, no quiet images, no sense of questioning or reflecting. If anything appears, it is faint, unfinished, and gone before it can take shape. And because there is nothing in you reaching out to follow it, it dissolves instantly, leaving no trace behind. You remain here, untouched, undisturbed, completely at ease. Your body continues to rest, but even that awareness has faded into something distant, something that no longer defines your experience. You are not aware of where you are positioned. You are not adjusting anything. There is no need to check or notice. Everything has already settled fully, completely supported without effort. Your breathing continues quietly somewhere, but it is no longer something you notice. It happens on its own, without effort, without awareness, without guidance. It is simply part of this stillness, continuing gently without needing you to be present for it. Time has completely disappeared. There is no awareness of moments passing, no sense of before or after. There is no waiting, no anticipating, no movement toward anything. Only this steady, unchanging calm that exists without direction. You are not approaching sleep. You are not entering it. You are already fully within it. Even the sense of being you has softened beyond recognition. Not gone, but no longer separate, no longer defined. The boundary between you and this stillness has dissolved completely. There is no edge, no distinction. You are not observing the calm. You are part of it, resting within it without needing to know it. There is nothing left from earlier, nothing to revisit, nothing to carry, nothing to understand. The day has fully released you, and you have fully released it. And nothing from tomorrow has entered. There is no future here, no past here. Only this quiet, steady presence that does not change. There are no thoughts returning. No reminders, no questions, no images forming clearly. If anything appears, it fades instantly, leaving nothing behind. And you remain untouched, because there is nothing in you trying to hold onto anything. Everything that needed to quiet has quieted completely. Everything that needed to release has released fully. Everything that needed to slow down has slowed beyond awareness. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to guide, nothing left to follow. And now, even the faintest trace of awareness can disappear completely, without effort, without hesitation, without needing to notice when it fades. Just let everything go fully, gently, completely, and sink into a deep, uninterrupted sleep where nothing remains except rest, quiet, steady, endless, until morning comes.